name's Amanda and welcome to this video where I will be showing you how to make a beautiful block that I think is just one of the most gorgeous things ever, and that is the Tribute Star block. This one is quite a big one and it's a bit hard to fit in the shop, but this is what I'll be showing you how to make today. So this is just a smaller version to a free pattern that you are able to download from the Denise Schmidt website. They have a quilt on there that's a giant Tribute Star block. I've just made it into a smaller version for you to make at home, and because it's December and I am currently doing Vlogmas, I did a Christmas version, so that's why we have stars for our background fabric. As I just mentioned, this is an original pattern from Denise Schmidt from her website, and the original pattern is for a block which is almost twice the size of what this one is. So if you actually want to make the bigger version of this block as well as the quilt that sort of accompanies the block, then there is a link to the pattern down in the description box below for you to check out. I have actually made that block size a couple of times and it's very easy and very quick to put together. So if you want to make it yourself, then I would definitely recommend it. As always, for all of my block tutorials, you will find all of the measurement and cutting instructions down in the description box below. So I think that's everything that I need to say in this first little intro bit. Let's get into how we make the Tribute Star block. To make the Tribute Star block, you will need to cut from both a main fabric and background fabric 14 4-inch squares and 4 3.5-inch squares. Begin by placing all 8 3.5-inch squares to one side, and then mark a diagonal line along the back of all 14 main fabric 4-inch squares with a ruler and pencil. Pair each of these with a background 4-inch square and pin them evenly together. At the sewing machine, place the foot to the left of the center line and sew a 1/4-inch seam along it. Then chain stitch the next 13 paired squares through the machine in the same way. Turn the chain squares around and then sew another 1/4-inch seam along the other side of the center line. Snip all of the joining threads and then carefully cut each square in half with a ruler and blade, resulting in 28 half square triangle units. Press each of the seams towards the darker side of fabric with a medium to hot steamy iron, and then carefully trim all 28 half square triangles to a 3.5-inch perfect square using a set square ruler. To make a 4-patch corner points unit, lay out one 3.5-inch square of each fabric opposite each other. Then place 2 half square triangles in the remaining corners with the main fabric pointing inwards towards the center of the unit. Starting with the top row, flip one square over onto the other and pin evenly into place. Then do the same with the remaining squares. Sew a 1/4-inch seam along the first pinned edge and then chain stitch the next pair through. Snip the joining threads and then press the seams away from the half square triangle units with the iron. With the pairs back in their correct positions, flip the top row over onto the other and nest the center seams together. Evenly pin the top edge together and then sew a 1/4-inch seam along it. Press the seam open with the iron to help eliminate excess bulk in the finished block. Then follow these steps again to make another 3 corner point units, totaling 4 altogether. Next, move on to making 4 flying geese units. To do this, lay out 4 half square triangles into the flying geese design, making sure your main fabric is creating the V shape. Then from here, piece the unit in the same way as you did with the corner point units, pressing the center seams in opposite directions. Remember to make 4 of these flying geese units. With the 4 remaining half square triangles, make a center unit by placing all of the background triangle sides pointing inwards towards the center. Then piece the unit together in the same way as the corner point and flying geese units. Once all units have been pieced together, lay them out into the tribute star design, starting with the center unit, then the flying geese, and then the corner point units. Starting with the top row, flip one corner point unit onto the middle flying geese and nest the center seams. Pin the seams along this edge neatly together and then sew a 1/4 inch seam along it. Gently press the seam outwards towards the corner point unit. Evenly nest and pin the other unit in this row to the other side of the flying geese, and then sew another 1/4 inch seam along the pinned edge. Press the seam outwards towards the corner point unit and then place it back into its correct position. After repeating the same steps with the other 2 rows, pressing their seams in opposite directions to the last, flip the middle row over onto the last one. Patiently line up and nest the center seams along with the rest of this top edge. Sew a 1/4 inch seam down this edge, feeding any bulky seams through slowly. Then gently press the seam inwards towards the middle row. Turn over the last row to the top edge of the block. Neatly nest the center seams and then pin it and the rest of the edge evenly together. Sew one last 1/4 inch seam carefully down this edge, ensuring all seams are lying the right way before sewing over them. Once more, press the seam inwards towards the middle row and then give the finished block a good final press. The finished size of the block should measure 18.5 inches squared. So when I actually finished piecing the block together, I found that I actually didn't need to square it off at the end. The finished block actually measured a perfect 18.5 by 18.5 inch square. If you do need to just trim it down and square it up, that's okay. Just make sure it does measure about 18.5 inches. Now, of course, let me know if you're going to make this block, and please share your pictures with me. Best way to share is either on Instagram at 3 3/4 or on my Facebook page at the same name. If there is anything that I've forgotten to say, then it will all just be down in the description box below. So don't forget to check out the description box and everything that's in there, because it will tell you everything that you need to know and everywhere that you can reach me as well if you do have a question. If you are new and would like to see more of the things that I do here on my channel, then please subscribe. I would love to have you come and join us. And as always, friends, thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to see you another time very, very soon. Bye!